Hi, okay, we're back with another one. Tonight, I'm struggling with this painting. I've been sitting here for a few minutes, blocking out the light and dark, and it's a little messy. It's kind of Goya, like one of his, what they call the black paintings, where it's like, really creepy. But I don't know. A lot of people call this the ugly phase of their painting. I think it's kind of the phase with the most personality. So I'm kind of enjoying it. Um, I'm just trying to like block these big shapes out, and it's fine, but I don't know. It's gonna need a lot of work. Today I have been thinking a lot about, is romance a necessary part of life, or at least is romance a necessary part of my life? And I think I'm going to be using the term broadly understood. Um, Romance for me means more than just one's love life, right? And some people don't have a love life. That sounds, no, I don't mean it that way. I mean, some people don't want a love life. Some people, um, they may not be even attracted to anyone, and that's wonderful. And it's perfectly unique, and but for me at least, unfortunately, I do have a romantic heart. So, there's some struggles with that of how do I navigate that, especially when I'm feeling lonely, like we all do. I feel like our generation feels it feels loneliness acutely. So, here are some tips and tricks that I've come up with to help out. And the first is pondering, do we need romance in our life? My answer is yes, even if it's not your own romance. Being there for someone else's romance, or being there for your friends, or even, reading a romantic novel, or, listening to romantic music. There's something about exercising that part of your love that's really important for being human, and for kind of maintaining a baseline of connection with people on a different level. Now, I think I'll make a video about the beauty of platonic love and how that is like the treasure of life, is platonic love. But for now, since we're talking about romantic love, there are some advantages of exercising that sensibility in your heart and in your soul. We all should. I'm maybe not a big fan of people who completely discount romantic love, or saying, you'll be stronger without it. I don't know. I think there's a place for romantic love, in everyone's heart. And now the broader understanding of romantic as kind of a humanity, like the romantics as in music or classical literature or whatever, I think that also has such an important message, and such an important way of exercising our mind too, So romantic things, I think, can help us utilize all three branches of our being, of our power, our spiritual, our, physical or mental energy, and then also our heart, the way we love others. I'm getting sidetracked. Let me reorient myself. Is it necessary? For me, I think it always will be necessary. At least a little bit of it, I might not. I can't say if I'll ever, like, stay in love with someone, or, like, maybe that's not so necessary as much as it's keeping that part of my personality active, Is this making sense? Like, it doesn't matter so much if you're in a relationship or not. I'm a firm believer that love will find you when it finds you, But having a sensibility to love and not having such like a disregard for it, I think it's very necessary for existence. Unless, of course, you that's not part of who you are, and that's beautiful. But, I don't know. Was that all word salad? I hope it made sense. Yeah, it's like, sure, maybe art isn't necessary for, like, existing. But did you ever really exist well if you didn't have art in your life? And in the same way, did you ever really exist well if you had the capacity to love romantically, but you never took that leap? Things to think about. Don't be scared. You know, it's like, I think that's, don't be scared. It's good to love other people, you know? This is looking a little scary. It's definitely in its rough phase right now. I'm just thinking of a world which isn't so far away where we distrust love. I see so many people online who blame their bad life decisions on falling in love, right? Or blaming the other party involved, you know? And that's all well and good, but I don't know, guys. Like, if we were to give up entirely on romantic love, where would we be left? I just think it would be a stale existence. Don't you? You know? I mean, we all have a heart. Why not use it? I guess I'm not so concerned about how you use it either, as long as you are using it. Like I said a little bit ago, like I'm not even sure if it's necessary to be in a relationship as long as you are actively participating in either someone else's story or maybe a creative endeavor that's romantic. It's like, why not write a sonnet? Why not write a story, you know? It couldn't hurt. But especially to be angry when other people find love. I don't think so. I think that's a bad habit. No, we have to be very happy when other people find love, and we have to nurture it. You know, in a world that is just so cruel sometimes, it's like having an inner peace and being an optimist, it's almost a survival instinct. Maybe that's necessary, being an optimist always. Okay, maybe not always, but most of the time. That's something I remember when I went to New York and I met some really lovely people, but it struck me how they didn't necessarily have an optimistic point of view on life. And in fact, they were a little worried for me. They're like, well, how, like, don't you suffer if you care deeply? You know, aren't you going to get hurt? And I know it came out of a place of love, but you know, those questions sometimes can confuse me. It's like, you know, I'm not going through life just skipping around, you know, and like not thinking deeply about things. And obviously I get hurt, but it's you almost have to have an optimistic mindset, you know, or else you would get so down about everything going on. It's like you couldn't survive. So in essence then, I guess my theory is to exist and none, you know, especially to exist well, you have to have love, you know. Be that romantic. Be that for your friends, your family. Be that for your strangers in your life, you know. Because you never know when a stranger can become your best friend. You really don't. And I say all these things like, I need to remind myself about some of these things. Because sometimes I'll just walk through life and just not care, you know, and that's the saddest of all, is when you don't care for your fellow neighbor and stuff. It's like, guys, we're all on this planet together. We're all going through the same shit. Okay, this is coming along. Maybe talking about love is like healing my painting. I don't know. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Okay, I always do a dark background. I always do that. And I'm like, should I switch it up, guys? What if I left it kind of bright in the back? Kind of let it be a little more, you know, a neutral ambiance. I'm kind of liking that idea. And also I need to use my, like, I have to have an economy of brush strokes because right now it's so scattered. If you can see this up close, it's like a patchwork and it's kind of looking not so good. Wait a minute. I think I could get a bigger brush. I can't see because the light is right there. Look at this one. Whoa. That's a big boy. Holy cow. Okay. Look at that thing. Big brush. Okay. You know what I've been fascinated with recently? Harp. Very pretty. I love harp. Especially I found this, I'll have to remember the name. Probably next video we can listen to this Greek historian who does harp covers of like the way that they would use the harp or the lyre in ancient Greece. And you guys know I have a love for ancient Greece. And so, you know, when I discovered that channel, I definitely subscribed. I was like, this is just awesome. But right now we're listening to The Lark by Glinka, and the cover's by Melanie Laurent. Yeah, Laurent. Wonderful, wonderful cover. She looks like she knows what she's doing. Sounds beautiful. I just dropped something and I don't know what it was. Okay, that's fine. I always feel so like, I feel like a toddler whenever I use such a big brush. It's kind of refreshing though. One day I want to get a big canvas. I'm talking like, I don't know, like 20 by 30 feet, ridiculously large, and just like get the biggest calligraphy brushes and just go to town sketching out a massive painting. I think it would be really fun for like a historical battle or something. Or even like juxtaposing such a big size and then having such like an intimate little scene. Like maybe like, I don't know, a romantic scene or something. Oh guys, I'm back on the romance stuff. Okay, I need to wrap it up. Okay, well, this was productive. Let me see if I can show you. Shock warning, it's looking a little rough, but you can see where I'm getting like, I'm just getting the shadows figured out, you know, and the basic values. It'll come along, trust me, trust the process. I don't really trust the process, but it's fine. It'll be okay. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. See you next time. Oh, this was a longer one, 13 minutes. Okay.